You get 50 hours of training a week in the cloud at EXP, taught by the Icon agents. Those are the ones doing the training. At every other brokerage, none of the top producers are sharing the best information. I've now been with eXp Realty for 3 years, and I have to start by saying I was completely wrong about so many things. There's a lot of other agents on YouTube talking about what it's been like after the first 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, and I did that too. But that isn't enough time to actually understand or learn or get a feel for what the brokerage is like. So what I'm going to do is break down 10 things that I learned over the last 3 years of being at eXp Realty. So probably like many of you, I turned a blind eye to EXP for over 2.5 years. I heard about it in late 2017. I ended up joining in April 20th of 2020. And what followed completely changed my life in so many different ways that I want to break down. Now, not only did I turn a blind eye to the opportunity for so long, but I also even talked negatively about it because I genuinely didn't educate myself in order to make an educated decision. I was making an assumptive decision based on all the missing fragmented information and silly presentations that people were sending me. But once I dove into it, what followed was life-changing. Now, if you don't know my story, I became the #1 personal attractor globally at eXp Realty without reaching out to a single agent within my first 2 years and have been ever since, again, without reaching out in any way, shape, or form to anybody. But that is entirely due to the value proposition that we created within the Wolf Pack. And if you want to know more, you can click below and find out in the description. But let's dive into the 10 things that I learned that you are definitely going to want to know about if you're considering joining this life-changing brokerage. Okay, so #1, I had the completely wrong understanding of the 7-tier structure. Now, before coming to EXP, I was a top producer, and I was coming here because of the Icon program, the ability to make over 100% of your commission by getting your cap back in company stock every year if you do 20 deals after you cap. Now, what followed was something that I really didn't expect, where I had a very, very small audience, about 1,700 subscribers when I joined EXP, but I didn't really realize how intimate that community was to the point where I had 30 people join me in the first 30 days and the second and the third and so on and so forth. But when I started looking at EXP, I initially thought that the 7-tier structure was just like this selfish way for people to make money off of my effort. And what I thought was like, I'm doing well at my past brokerage. I'm one of their top producers. I've got a brand that's building. I'm active on social media. I'm doing pretty well for myself. And then when I looked at the 7-tier structure, the way that others presented it to me until I met my sponsor was basically making me feel like I'm a cash cow. You know, they just want to leverage my success in order to make them money. But I was really wrong about that. Let me explain. What I started realizing is that at a traditional broker, you've got one layer of value, which is your broker. That means your ability to get trained, educated, supported is limited to your broker's time and skill set. So what I learned is that not many brokers understand modern strategies, personal branding, lead generation, video marketing. So what did I have to go do? I had to go spend endless hours on YouTube trying to figure it out myself. I had to go pay for coaching, pay for mentorship, join Mastermind Calls, go to live events in order to learn because I didn't have it at my brokerage. Now, when I started looking at this 7-tier structure and properly understanding it, what I realized is that's 7 layers of value above you. Everybody's focused on the 7 tiers below you, and I'll get to that. But what's not talked about is the 7 tiers above you, being able to get 7 different skill sets that based on being compensated through the brokerage's dollar, not the agent's dollar, I was able to get all this incredible free training on all the things that I was lacking, which was so powerful. Now let's talk about what that then transitions to, which is the 7 tiers below you. Now that I've got one of the fastest growing groups at the company, I've got a lot of people in the 7 tiers below me. And what happens is this is now an opportunity for me to pour into 7 tiers of people, giving all of my best training for free, one-on-one coaching, mentorship, daily mastermind calls every single week, all of the top social media training on video marketing, lead generation, personal branding for free, because I'm compensated through the money that would usually just go to the broker. So when I started understanding that this is basically creating a value-driven family where you're able to support people and change their business, change their lives by being able to pour into them, and it's not just this selfish thing, it's a completely selfless initiative for you to now become partners with people, help them grow their business, where you look at a traditional brokerage and I was on both sides of the spectrum. As a new agent, I joined one of the top brokerages in my market center. Well, none of the top producers wanted to share the best information because they would have created competition with me. Well, I then became one of the top producers and I didn't want to share a lot of my best information because I would have created competition within my office. Whereas with this system, you're able to now turn these people into partners. So if they go do everything that you're doing, you both win. And it's this really incredible, honestly beautiful structure that allows everybody to have a win-win situation and genuinely change the lives of so many people. Number 2, the only reason why people do not join EXP is a lack of understanding. Now, I talk to a ton of agents every single month on Zoom with those that book directly into my calendar and want the one-on-one call to talk about what it's like to partner with the company and our group. 98% of the people have joined after that 130-minute call with no follow-up. Simultaneously, 100% of them have said that they've heard about EXP before by a ton of people. All these people have reached out to them, but 98% of them still end up joining. So let me explain what happens. It's due to a complete lack of understanding of the model. They're getting sent videos that don't properly explain the opportunity. They're getting people that can't answer their questions. They're talking to others that aren't able to tailor the model to what that individual or what you care about. Because again, I've seen this model be a beautiful situation where all that it is you've got a current state or a current situation. You've got a desired state or a desired situation. Maybe you're struggling with production and you want to be a top producer. I have been able to tailor this model to every single person to be able to bridge the gap from where you are today to where you want to go, which is why 98% have joined. And the 2% that did not join my group still ended up joining the company. They just went to a friend that they've known for a long time, somebody they've talked to for years, or maybe a family member of some sort. So when you start looking at that data, that means that if everybody's heard about it, but they're still not here, yet they join after talking, that means that the reason why people don't join is a lack of understanding, and it's not what most people assume, which is that the brokerage is not a good fit. It is, you just need to hear about it properly from people who know what they're talking about and are able to tailor it to what you care about. Number 3, it is the only brokerage that I've been able to find that is the vehicle that will get you to where you want to be as a realtor. Let me explain again. Almost every agent I've ever talked to says that they get into real estate because of one or both of 2 reasons. They want to create wealth, they want to create a flexible lifestyle. Let's unpack that. If you want to create wealth, you need 4 things, hence the wealth quadrant: duplication, equity ownership, passive or residual income, and multiple streams of income. Well, the traditional way of building wealth as an agent is go trade enormous amounts of time for active income in the form of commission, then hopefully after a few years save up enough commission to invest in real estate. Because when you invest in real estate, you have duplication of doors, equity ownership on properties, passive residual income, and multiple streams of income. Well, if you want your residual to double, you have to go trade more time for more money and do it again, but the goal is to get time back, not spend more of it. We have all 4 components of the wealth quadrant just by being at EXP. I can create wealth by the nature of being an agent, and guess what? If I want my residual to double, on average it has every single year, honestly more than double, but I have no liability, no risk, no upfront capital, and no vacancies, so I can create wealth. Well, lifestyle requires 2 things, money freedom and time freedom. You can create money freedom at any brokerage in the world. You cannot create time freedom, because if you have one income stream, which is commission, that requires your time invested in creating it, and you don't invest your time, you have no income, you have no flexible lifestyle. EXP is oftentimes referred to as a lifestyle brokerage. I went to Mexico last year for 8 days, didn't check a single phone call, text message, or email, made $54,000 in my business crew. So when you start looking at this, this gives you what you're looking for as an agent, but most brokerages don't. Number 4, you will never get this level of training at any other brokerage. 2 different things I want to break down here. Number 1, you get 50 hours of training a week in the cloud at EXP, taught by the icon agents. So those top 3% agents that are doing cap plus 20 transactions or $500,000 in GCI with a minimum of 10 transactions, those are the ones doing the training. At every other brokerage, none of the top producers are sharing the best information, and you're pooling from like 100 people in your brokerage because they create competition with you. Well, when you start looking at EXP being geographically fragmented, the only ones doing the training are the top producers, now across 88,000+ agents across the world, not just the one broker in your local market center. Not to mention when you start bolting it on with things like my group does in terms of our daily mastermind calls, where we've brought on people that have built multiple billion-dollar businesses, some of the top producers in the world, breaking down their entire blueprints every single day, where we're pooling 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs to come pour into you and break it all down, because we all win. So when you start looking at the caliber of training, if that's something you want, which hopefully it is, there's no better place than EXP. Number 5, the brokerage is built like a family. So one misconception is that all these agents are just competing against each other and they're all being negative. It's not true. I'm involved at the highest level of EXP because of the organization that I've built, and I see what happens. All of the ones winning at this company are sharing their best information with other groups at the company, not just within the same lineage. Like, everybody is sharing their best information because they understand that based on us all being owners at this brokerage, well, we all win if the brokerage grows. Whether they join me, you, Sarah, John, Smith, doesn't matter. If we all grow, we all win. So everybody's pouring into each other, and it genuinely is built like a family where everybody just wants to see each other win, because everybody is now having their lives changed by this brokerage. So all the people that I see that I'm, in proximity with that are building massive momentum with EXP, a lot of top producers, team leaders, big organizations, they have seen the power of this brokerage, so they want as many people as possible to join anybody here because of the fact that we all win. And when you start looking at culture, so many people think that you're going to get this better culture at a local boutique franchise brokerage, whatever the situation is, brick and mortar. You're not. I've seen it time and time again, especially I poll my group every single year, and every agent that joined last year said they felt more intimately connected to our group virtually than the physical brick and mortar brokers that they just came from. So that all boils down to culture and collaboration, because ultimately it's built like a family. Number 6, the brokerage actually listens to the agent. So when you're at EXP, you'll start to see a lot of new initiatives coming out, or new decisions and new things helping the agents, or different changes that are happening as the brokerage continues to grow. And what happens with EXP is whenever the leadership is looking at making a new decision or adding something new, they bring it to the agents. They bring it to us, the ones that have over 1,000 agents in their organization like I do, and they say, hey guys, based on your opinion, based on what you're seeing, what do you think about this? Every other brokerage that I know of is just making their own corporate decisions based on balance sheets or whatever the situation is, or what their franchise owners that bought into the system want, not the agents. But when you look at this brokerage, the agents are the ones that are having a voice. And it's so powerful because now we are the ones that are able to help based on being owners of the brokerage, because we get stalked by the nature of being an agent here. But it really allows us to have some sort of say and for the leadership to listen to it based on where the future of the brokerage is going. So it's really nice to know that you actually have a voice here, and you can use Workplace and message the executives, and guess what? You're going to get a response. Number 7, it saves an extraordinary amount of money. Let me unpack this in a couple different ways. Number 1, you get KV Core for free. You have Skyslope for free. You have 50 hours of training a week in the cloud for free. You also, if you're multiple licensed, if you're licensed in 2, 3, 4 states, 2, 3, 4 provinces, you have one set of fees, one split, one cap. Additionally, because of the fact that we're a cloud-based brokerage, by dropping overhead, reducing expenses, we can afford to give more back to the agents for less. Our monthly fees are incredibly cheap. Not only that, I see a lot of agents that are saving $300 to $800 a month based on the healthcare that EXP provides, because we acquired the company based on being such a profitable brokerage. So when you start looking at all of the things that EXP provides, it is a massive amount of money that you're saving. While not only that, you're making more money because of the brokerage structure. So for people that are wanting to know about the finances, this is a life-changing opportunity for you. Number 8, almost everybody I've talked to that comes to EXP and I start to have conversations with them, they say the same exact statement, which is that EXP reignites their passion for the industry. For me, this was very much true, because at the end of 2019, when I was, nobody knew what was happening with the upcoming pandemic because it wasn't in existence yet. But I started thinking, like, what do I want to do going forward? What does the next year look like? What does 2020 look like going forward if it was a normal market? And the answer was, I guess I have to start from scratch January 1st every year, like every agent does, and see how many deals I can do. Well, guess what happens in 2021? Guess I got to start from zero again and see how many deals I can do. 2022, 2025, 2030, 2040. You're never going to get off the hamster wheel. So when you look at EXP, your business compounds every single year. I start with the same size organization I did on December 31st on January 1st. Every year it compounds. So people are so excited to see that all of the hard work, the time, sacrifices, energy they're putting into the business is growing every single year based on what they did in the previous year. So it's really exciting to see that you're not just a part of this vibrant, collaborative, family-like culture, but your business is growing year over year over year. And you're just meeting a ton of epic, cool new people over and over and over that want to be in alignment with you, want to be partners. So it's so exciting when you start seeing what happens at this brokerage, not to mention when you go to the live events. Number 9, something that sometimes rubs agents the wrong way, but I'm going to say it anyway, which is it's the only way to change lives by the nature of being an agent. So many people say they get into real estate because they want to change lives, they want to make an impact. You cannot change somebody's life by helping them buy or sell a house. So if that offends you, I apologize, but not really, because it's just the truth and it's reality. You can make their day, their week, their month, maybe their quarter or year, but you're not changing their life because anybody else could do it too. But when you start looking at this model, you have the ability to change agents' lives. I have agents that message me every single week saying what being a part of our group has done for their business, but also their lives, changing not just their business, but also their lives, being able to help them get out of ruts because we have calls every week on mindset, being able to help them double, triple, 5x their production because of our additional training and our lead generation strategies, and helping them build the top of mind personal brand with video marketing and all of these different things. I've had agents say, Mike, 12 months ago, I had a terrible relationship with my wife, no time with my kids, production was suffering. Joined you guys 12 months later, more time with the kids, tripled my production, more time with my wife, incredible relationship. Every week I'm getting messages like that because of what this model can do to pour into other people. So when you talk about changing lives, there genuinely is no other opportunity like it. Number 10, it gives you massive leverage. This is why a lot of agents build momentum over the first 5-10 years and then they plateau, because there is a saturation point within almost every single market, because you're geographically restricted to one market center unless you want to go get licensed in a different one and start over and do it again and again and again. But just by the nature of being at EXP, I've got agents in almost every single province, every single state, multiple countries globally and continents. It gives you massive leverage of your skill set and your connections. Every agent knows agents in different markets, but you have no way to kind of partner with them or monetize that. Well, with this you do, except of course referrals. Well, also it builds momentum and gives you leverage of your skill sets. If you built your business through cold calling, door knocking, videos, social media, traditional training, nurturing, database, CRM, whatever your niche is, guess what? Other agents want to know that. And guess what happens when you partner with EXP? You could start to have people globally partnering with you where you can give it to them for free. And now you start to build this scalable global business that you're able to retain and build this massive exit strategy and flexible lifestyle with as well, just by the nature of being an agent. So it is the number one reason why my income went from $300,000 to $3.1 million in 12 months after I joined EXP, because it gives you massive leverage. This is a life-changing brokerage, and it blows my mind when people aren't willing to look at it, because every successful entrepreneur I've ever met looks at proven exponentially growing opportunities and at least vets them with the right person in order to make an educated decision. But as I've seen over my last 3 years, almost everybody else is making an assumptive decision based on talking to somebody that didn't have the right information, couldn't answer their questions, or sent them a video that didn't explain anything. So if you want to change your life like this is done for mine, this is the number one opportunity. I'd be more than happy to book a one-on-one call with you. So if you have any other questions, drop a comment below. We will answer 100% of them, and hopefully we get to change your life with this incredible brokerage.